Hello, and welcome to Into the Future, where we are going to play some alchemy decks. Let's take a gander at them. There's four of them. I'm going to play each one at least once as we go through. I'm not going to look at the decks. I'm just going to just play them and have some fun. Uh, I guess we'll look at them. We'll pick the red deck first. Let's just see what this nasty concoction is. So we have Trap Finder, Strangle, Horde Master, Morale Sergeant. It's a 2-1 haste enlist. Uh, Enlist a non token creature. You may conjure a duplicate of that creature into the top 5 cards of your library at random. Duplicate permanently gets +1 and haste. Interesting. So the enlist cards are deep. Okay. Battlegrade Goblin, a couple braids. Of course, why not Fable? We got some Squeeze. That's pretty cool. This is a new one. Coalition Construct. 2/2 for 3. Choose a creature type, most likely Goblin in this case. It becomes that creature type as well as a construct, and then enters the battlefield. Other creatures you control, the chosen type, and creature cards of that type in your hand get +1/+1. That's pretty interesting. Twin Shot Sniper, and then this other new card, which is a 5-mana enchantment. Goblin spells cost 1 red to less to cast. That's pretty cool. And at the beginning of your instep, conjure a random goblin card from a spellbook into your hand. So you don't get to draft this, but you do get a random one. Now let's see which glorious cards they have here. Okay, so no bog thing, and then we got Gate, and then we have Crucible and Hostile. Interesting. That'd be fun. All right, let's go right into that. And yeah, sweet. Just for playing, we get free XP. I'll gladly take that. All right, not for us. Let's go. If you're wondering why I'm playing this format and showcasing it to you, so I kind of want to add a little bit more flavor to our content, not just doing drafts and sealed, but playing a little bit more array of fun things. And just in case you all want to have a better perspective of how this format goes, and if you don't have time to do it yourself, this is a fun way to do this. All right, we're going to keep this. We got a Strangle, Braid, and then the Morale Captain, which has haste. So the enlist is really easy to pull off, and then we got the array as well. So I guess we'll just go right into that here. We'll take... Why couldn't I enlist that? Oh, it's enlist. Okay, never mind. Enlist is that other mechanic. That's my fault. It's still fine, though. We will attack again. We'll put out the Trap Finder here, and then we can hold up a Braid. Alright, the Green Widow. That's pretty neat. So we're just going to kill that guy now. It's going to cost 4 to bring back? Yeah. Ooh. I think we're just going to play the array here, but we're going to go with the Sergeant enlist. Interesting. Alright, that's kind of cool. Nice. That's a nice goblin to get at random. Like, yeah, this card is awesome. The influx here array. It's going to be really cool to just get that every turn. Yeah, Goblin Influx Array. That seems pretty strong. If you're wondering what I'm listening to today, I'm listening to the Fallout channel. Okay, we got a Green Widow. We can deal with that pretty easy. Nice. Alright, we're going to get rid of another Green Widow here. I really don't know if I want to play this yet. I think we just want to get in with Goblin, give it haste, and then... Oh, sweet. Okay, so we'll go enlist here. And we can enlist one creature, right? And then we'll attack here as well, which then bolsters up that guy. And of course, we're going to take the action. Random card, top of our deck, and then we will pass here and get another random card from our dude. Alright, and they just concede the power scoop. I imagine this deck is very annoying, especially with our draw there. That was pretty fun. Okay, we'll claim Uprise, which is this awesome pack. And now we're going to look at this other decks here. There's, let's see, we'll just go in the order. Driven to Win. Let's check this out. Okay, it's a vehicles list. I should have realized that. Although there's some pretty insane cards. Like Evangel is not a vehicle card, but very good. Blade Oni's alright. 2 cast downs. This is a new card. 1/3 for 2. Tap it. Target creature from your graveyard potentially becomes an artifact. You may cast that card this turn. That's cool. There's a Cathar. There's another new one. Vehicle. Menace, Death Touch, Lifelink when crewed. And it's a 3/3. Whenever it attacks, target creature that is crewed it this turn perpetually gains your choice of Menace, Death Touch, or Lifelink. That sounds pretty powerful. And that's the Smog Belcher. That's cool. And then Titanium, Angelic Mechanic. Of course, the angels have mechanics. That's just hilarious to me. An Angel Artificer. A 3/2, flying for 3. A red, white, and a colorless. And then when this card or another legendary creature you controls a vehicle, that vehicle perpetually gains +1. Interesting. And then we got Astor and a Surge Craft, Surge Hacker, and the Mysterious Limousine. Any lands here that look are new? No. Okay. This looks like a fun deck. Let's get into it. I don't know how it will pair up versus the Goblins, but we'll check it out. To be fair, our Goblin draw was pretty hot fire, but honestly, I felt like it was a pretty normal. Alright, so we got a turn 1 play into turn 2, and then this. I mean, it's painful. I'm going to keep it. It's a pretty aggressive hand, and we can have like a turn 3 vehicle into possible turn 4 mech. Because this conjures a Dragonfly suit, if you were unaware. My top. Now, if you're not a fan of the Alchemy set, I can totally understand that. You know, we all like the classic versions of Magic. But for me as a player, I've played Magic for over 20 years. And I really do get a kick out of these Alchemy cards because you'll never be able to have these cards in real life. Like, it's impossible to do it in a practical sense. Like, the overabundance of proxy cards that you'd have to print in their own like little side plots would just make the game absurd, because you would have to make proxies in order to do these viably outside like the common ones, but even then it would drive the price up on commons that just don't deserve to be driven up. For some reason my opponent is choosing not to play because they're not there. What is going on here? Hello? Okay, so it looks like we're going to get a free win. That sucks. They either disconnected or they're just being this way. If you're that person who likes to just log in and try to get free wins on these things because you still feel like playing, you know, you're kind of lame. But definitely, you know, let's try not to be that person. Because for me personally, it's not about the content. It's just rude. You know, we all want to play the game. You know, people who like to play Magic. If you're one of those people who's like, I just want the free stuff, and you're not willing to put the effort in, it's pretty poor on your part. Granted, it does seem like they were disconnected. So, uh, um, because if they did just like log off or something or walk away from their computer, um, they would actually just explode here. There's a difference. Like they do understand people disconnecting. So if you're trying to reconnect, it'll give you time. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they forgot that they just loaded this in. I don't know. They're playing the Goblin deck too. I was hoping for a real game here. Yeah. Okay. So we get a free win, which is really lame, and that's fine. We didn't play the deck, so I'm just going to re-enter. I'm going to take the free win. You know, that this makes it that much more enjoyable to play the other decks. But I'm going to play this deck again, and actually, hopefully, we play against a player who actually wants to participate. All right. Nice. Well, this hand's pretty good. I think we're going to start on the Forsaken Crossroads. And we'll pick white. I mean, we could pick red. That way we're not taking pain here. But I think scrying, making sure I don't really want to draw land next turn. Oh, come on. What is this? My opponent's just not there. I know I'm not disconnected. Where are these people? What is going on here? Do 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 do. What is this? Metaphorical? Metaphorical? They're just not showing up. Um, this is pretty lame. There's no excuse for this. They just don't like. They're probably one of those people who hate meta the alchemy set. So why even bother? Why even bother playing in these events if that's the case? I don't know. It's weird. I want to know if you're one of those people who don't like the alchemy sets um, so much that you'll destroy other people's good time. You know. Not really. I don't want to know that. If you don't like the alchemy set, though, please let me know in the comments below. Tell me your opinions on it. Like, what makes you not like this set? Oh, finally, an opponent. You know, I find these alchemy formats to be very, very pleasing and quite fun. We'll go with white here, and we're going to scry. That's probably going to be useful in this matchup. Although I'll probably play Smog Chariot first. Well, actually, the first card I'll play is Blade Oni. Mm-hmm. You know, this is just a fun format. We're not trying to be anything special here. Nice. They started the same way we did. Yeah, we'll just get out the Blade Oni here. Along the way. So if they attack here, I'm just going to take it. Because I kind of want to keep my creature around. Because I'm going to play this Chariot here, most likely. Although... Ooh, nice. The Goblin here is pretty interesting to take. Actually, you know, we'll just play the Chariot and pass. Because if we can give this lifelink, that'd be kind of cool. Like, we know they have a braid, but there's only 2 of them in the deck. Mm. Horde Master. That's pretty gross. I don't love that. And another Horde Master. Oh my gosh. Alright, so my guy has lifelink and death touch. I'm gonna get rid of this stupid creature. Alright. They had already played a land this turn. And I'm just gonna kill their goblin here. That generates goblins. Alright, they exile the top 2 cards of their deck. Alright, we play our land. We have 2 of these in our hand, so we might as well play it. We'll take a damage. Alright, the hacker will be nice. We'll just say go. Alright, our Ani's going away. Yeah, they kind of got us here. Because this will drop us. If they attack with everything. Okay, they're not. Yeah. Okay. So we definitely are going to have to kill this regardless of what we want. And we take 5. And I'm okay with this. We're just still in a really dangerous spot here. Okay. So we can play this and exile a Horde Master, but they have one in their hand with haste. If we exile the token here, they play this, they just got us anyways. Yeah, they got us. Okay. I'll give them the see ya. Yeah, they got us pretty good. This matchup, this Goblin deck looks brutal. So, that's the Driven to Win. I think situationally, if we weren't playing against the Goblin deck, we might have a chance. But we're going to go switch over to this Dragon Roost deck and really just look at this as well. We got Cut Downs, that's going to be good. Dragon's Fire. We got this Whelp. Okay, so this is one of the new, this is a new Whelp. 2-1, flying for 2. You can kick it for 2. Whenever you draw Dragon, it gets +1/+1. That's really cool. When this enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, seek a dragon, and Dragon Whelp, and that dragon each get perpetually +1/+1. That's pretty fun. Or Dragaz Whelp. So we have Zorata in place of. Oh no, and there is Dragaz. Okay. Zorata is great, and then this is this new one. At the beginning of your end step, conjure a random Durgaz Sylvan Champion spellbook exile face down with 3 egg counters on it. It gains at the beginning of upkeep. If this card is exiled, remove an egg on it. If there are no egg on it, put it onto the battlefield. And the storybook looks like it's got only a few dragons. We got Shivan, Moonlit Regent, Terror of the Peaks, Leyline Tyrant, Predator, Maniform, Hellkite, probably not the best one. Bone Dragon, that's an interesting one. Demanding Dragon, that's pretty cool. Sherigan, Hellkite can be pretty awesome. Thunderbreak Regent, now that's a good one. And then we got a Black Dragon as well, and then the Ship Stalker, and probably and then Red Dragon. What the egg looks like, the token. But there's a Lily Under the Veil. We got the new Orb update, Breath of Fire. Yeah, so just a few cards that are new. Doesn't look like there's any special mana conditions, so just the Degraz and the Whelp here. Yeah, interesting. Okay. And then there's this awesome Wrathful Dragon, which is cool. Alright, let's go for it. Boom. Yeah, so far that Goblin deck looks like the best deck to play. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's that these other decks are bad against it. Like we could have, like our first two hands we got could have easily played against their Goblin draws. But you know, after having to like cancel and then sit there for a second, I don't know, bit disappointing. All right, so we're also playing against Goblins this time, but we have 2 cut downs. So I'm happy to play, keep this hand because it does pretty well. Sergeant is fine here. We're going to put this in on black. Okay. They didn't play anything. That means that they probably have removal. So I'm just going to play our land tapped and pass. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to play this and hold up black mana for my cut down if I so need to, depending on what they're doing. The fact they played nothing last turn, yeah, Trap Finder, that's fine. I'm not going to kill that. Ooh, that's cool. Well, we're going to start with our Rivas of the Dragon Claw. Yeah, there's the Abrade. So sometimes you don't just play on curve and then make your opponents have it. They made it clear that they had it. Now they could just be flooding out, but it's still better to be cautious than not. They could have another removal spell here. The fact that they haven't played a Goblin on top of it with this much mana, I don't remember, and they didn't even have the enchantment here. I think I'm just going to kick this guy this time, and then we'll draw another dragon. We'll seek one. They could have like another nice whelp will be nice. And this book can block here. Okay, so they got a sniper. That's fine. Now they could have like another sniper. I forget that sniper can also be discarded here. Okay. They're going to hit us for 3? Okay. Nice. So we can play this, and then we'll have a big creature. Yeah, we'll do that. And we get a random card conjured over here. But it's a random card, which is kind of cool. So they're going to go wide on us, which is not great by any means. I think we will kill the sniper here. Just because, yeah, we're going to take a lot. We might be dead. I don't know. 6, 9 plus 4 more. It's 13. That drops us to 1. If they pump again... Okay, they're planning to kill our champion. They probably have a strangle. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna hope... Okay, we did draw land. That is useful. So we can play 2 creatures to the board and kill their goblin here. So I'm going to lead off on killing the goblin. We're going to hope that they don't have another one, and we'll go dragon into the claw. No attacks. So they don't have a removal spell other than they could have drawn a sniper here. I don't want to take damage with us being so low already, and I don't want to endanger the claw. And whatever they get here, it's only going to have haste till in a turn, so... Okay, so they drew a land for the turn. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. So we have the ability to cast draws from our yard. Do we have enough to... So both these are reduced cost by 1. So what we can do is tap the claw, play this, and play Liliana. My issue with playing Liliana that way is that we're only discarding that. I think we go with... We can only cast 1 dragon per turn, right? Yeah, once per turn. So we'll go green and black, or green and red. And then we can kick this guy. And then we could probably just make a decision from there. Maybe we'll just do this. I'll get rid of one of my dragons here. We could make them sacrifice, but I think we will each player discards, because I have a redundancy of these. And still no attack. We are at 5. And all we need is to live. Okay. That is probably game. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. We'll make them... Yeah. Okay. We got there. We beat the Goblin deck. This Draws deck is sick. Draws just seems insane. It seems like a fun card to play with. Okay, we'll claim our prize. Alright, we still have 1 deck left to play, and it's the Domain Dominion. Let's check this out really fast before we play it. 4 ley lines, 4 herd migration. That seems about right. Now they have all the duels, even though it was advertised as just a 4-color deck, which technically it is. They have a bunch of the tri-lands here. I imagine the duels are correct. So then we have 4 dig up, which is decent. Wandering Treefolk. So this is one of the new cards. 2/3 for 2 vigilance. That's fine. You can pay the domain cost of 8 mana to seek a creature. Costs 1 less for every basic. So at a cost reduction of 5, this only costs 3 mana to do, which could be pretty awesome. Infernal Grasp, and we got a Brawler here. 2 Seek the Wilds, 4 Green Widows, 3 Emperor, 2 Drag at the bottom, and then the other new card here in this domain deck is a 3/2 for 4, and then 2 Ghost Slicer, which is kind of cool. You can kick it for 1 black, but when it enters the battlefield, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. If this spell was kicked, conjure a duplicate of target card to an opponent's graveyard into your hand. Oh, wow. It perpetually gains. You can spend mana. Wow. Okay, so you can get a card back already. Any card. So it's like an Eternal Witness, but for 1 more. While also having this kicker ability, so if you pay 5, you can also steal a card from your opponent. That is freaking fun. That is a fun card. And then there's Tamio. Alright, decent amount of mana. Let's make sure. 24. Ugh, that's low. But, I mean, they kind of fix it a little with dig ups and settle. But, and migration can also be pitched. Okay, so we're most likely going to play against the Goblin deck because why wouldn't everyone play Goblins? Um, Goblins is a fun deck. It's always been a fun deck. I don't fault people. That's the reason why I started with it. I think our deck, with the acknowledgement of that, we might not play against Goblins this round. I'd be surprised if we don't. They are definitely Goblins, as predicted, but our mana draw is pretty dang good. We can go headquarters into land, drop down a brawler into tree folk, and okay, yeah, well, this hand looks pretty strong. Like this deck doesn't have a ton of removal in it, but they make up for with really powerful creatures. Like they're gonna have bolts and stuff. Ooh, all right. So we're gonna have our full domain next turn when we play. Probably Rafine's Tower, or we go with the green one. I think the green one because we do already have the double green. I wouldn't be surprised if they just upgrade this right now. I don't know how much they just want to sit here and take full damage. Okay, so we're gonna go with the Proving Grounds. They might block here, just to get. I mean, it is trample. This guy is so strong. Okay. What's cool is now this is online. This only costs 3 mana to cast right now to activate its ability. And a 2/3 Vigilance doesn't look that great, but for 2 mana, it's actually really good. Yeah, this domain deck looks sick. So if they do have the sacrifice card here, they could dig for. Well, I don't know. That seems bad. Oh, okay. Construct is good here. Now, I won't be able to attack with this, but I do get to attack with this. Okay, nice. Emperor. I will attack with our guy here and offer the trade. Although, this has already had its effect, so. Maybe I'm not supposed to do that. But I don't have a ton of removal in this deck. But we have Nantuku Slicer, plus we have Wandering Emperor. Ooh, nice. I don't need another creature, so I'm thinking about cycling my Herd Migration, go get another untapped source. And it being white would be nice. So that's what we're going to do here. Because we gain 3 life from this. Yeah, we'll take a Plains. That way we're set up for our Emperor next turn if we so desire. And we'll just play another creature. I really love this art. I wish if I could select some of the lands in this deck in this that be full art, it would be this one. This one is so cool. I just love the scheme and the color palette. It's so cool. All right. Not necessary. Okay, so our guy has Vigilance, so we're just gonna get in there. They might not know what's in the decks. I don't care if they braid this here. Okay, I think this is a mistake. And the reason why it's a mistake is I can protect it here. Granted, we will take more damage, but I think it's worth keeping around. So, uh, like upticking on my guy instant speed to save my dude, and then we take 8, but we were already ahead on life total. Why are these 4/4s? Perpetual. Oh, because he had that card. So we attack here. So we have a couple plays this turn. We can either kick this and return our herd migration to our hand and then get like a braid or even strangle, which would be fine here. I think that is the play, but my first play is exile this one. Yeah, we're going to kick this here. And we're going to copy the strangle. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the Horde Master here can attack. I mean, I can see why you would, but I don't think this is a good attack here. I would attack with this and this. That's the only attacks I see that are viable. And honestly, you could have just attacked there, but... Okay, so this is an easy block here. We block here, and then we take 9. And we'll fall to 5. Land a goblin. Land goblin. Okay. So I'm going to start by killing this one. Okay, so they have the ability to play 2 of these this turn, and whatever else they have. Maybe we start by... Yeah, we'll seek a creature here. Yeah, that's much better. So to make this turn super effective is that they need to have a third or their fourth horde guy. Yeah, they'd have to have another horde master here. And a land. I just don't see that being too effective. The fact that we've been able to hit them down every turn has been pretty huge. Yeah. So we can go... I don't need to give this first strike. Yeah, I think we just attack. So their best play here is chump here and double block the brawler and take 3. Yeah. I mean, it's not good. I think the other block would have been better because then they would have been at more life and they would have got this off the board. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast this and make a billion creatures, and we're gonna uptick and give this guy a little bit bigger, and we'll play our card on blue and scry. Yeah, that's not good anymore, so they can go to the bottom. Yep, we got there. Woo! All right, those are the decks. I mean, tell me how you feel about them. Which one you like the most? We didn't really get to play the Driven to Win. I feel like these three were very competitive. This one seemed pretty competitive, but we ran against a few snags. But I feel like this deck is pretty fine. Could be better. It has a lot of top end and not very many lands. I mean, 25, but still not that exciting. Well, overall, I really like this. I love the alchemy sets. They're really fun to play. Um, well, that without further ado, I guess we'll look at these new Dominaria packs. I had one floating around here. Might as well crack it, and then we'll open the other three. All right, so we got Protein War Engine, an 0-4 for 2, crew 3. When this enters the battlefield, you draft a spellbook and exile it. In their exile, just a bunch of angels, it looks like. Oh, and some regular creatures. Not bad. And then when it becomes crewed until end of turn, this becomes a copy of that, except for it's a vehicle artifact in addition to its other types. Interesting. And then there's Oracle of the Alpha, 2-3 for 3, flying. When it enters the battlefield, conjure the power 9. Conjure the power 9 into your library, then shuffle it, and then whenever it attacks, scry one. What? This is hilarious. Okay, so Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, Time Twister, Lotus, and oh my gosh, look at that. That is hilarious. Oh, I love it. I love this. This card, oh man, I can't wait to play with this. This is so fun. Only way I'll ever get to play with real or Power 9 outside of Cube. That's kind of fun. I like it. That's a fun card. And then we got, and it enters. So that's cool. Nimba, Beloved Protector, 2-2 for 2, flash. When it enters the battlefield, choose target non-legendary creature card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to the battlefield. It perpetually gains whenever this creature becomes targeted of spell or ability. Draw a card. This only triggers once per turn. That's really cool. Alright, and those are the cards we got out of those. Let me know down below if you want to play some alchemy or see some alchemy decks. I'm gladly to build some. Whatever you want to see. I got some wilds and a lot of rares to spare for this set, and I love alchemy. It's really fun. So without further ado, I'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next time. Peace.